Well, here we sit in the lounge room at Luleå Energy Arena. And there's still a load of kids outside, but at least they're a little bit quieter now. Yeah. And this guy here on my right, this is it Christopher or Chris?
Yeah, I was born Christopher, but it's Chris, yeah.
Yeah. And he's the proprietor here at the live restaurant in Luleå Energy Arena. And he's kindly allowed us to have this concert, party or gig, whichever way you want to call it, here. And we're surrounded by Pink Lizzärd, Björn this side and Andreas this side. It's you two, if I understand correctly, who are sort of like pushing the Pink Lizzärd along.
We could say we are the founding members, us two.
Yeah.
And then a couple months later, make a long story shorter, we started out playing together, and then a few years down the road we decided to start our own band, playing our own favorite kind of music.
Okay.
And then after a few weeks we invited Daniel to join us on guitar, and our newest member is Magda here, playing the keyboards, organs and pianos.
So Magda is keyboards, Daniel is lead guitar?
Yes, both actually. Both? Rhythm and lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're the bass?
I play the bass, yes.
And bassist, and Björn is on the drums?
Yes.
Okay.
Who sings?
Tonight it will be mostly me, I suppose, backed up by the whole band, and I think Magda will take the mic on at least one song, because we ran into some manpower issues late last night, so we were supposed to appear as a five-man woman group.
Okay.
But as you see, there are only four of us here now, so well, the show will go on.
That's
but
good.
as a four-man band.
Yeah, we've also got some difficulties with the Russian. He's got a bad back, so he's been here, and now he's resting, and hopefully he'll be on stage. But so we may be a man short too. But that's some of the problems I think with a band. But we can get into that in a little while. I was Chris.
Yes.
It's like, thank you very much for letting us be here.
It's good to have you here. It's good. This is really interesting project we're doing.
Yeah. It's I know that it's not going to be very many people that come, maybe.
Well,
so
the night's young. But no, we're hoping that we've talked about this before. The idea of we've got to start somewhere, and we do this, and hopefully we get a few people, and we may be able to we do all these kind of like a film and the promotion. It gives us, by doing it once, it gives us material to promote it for the next time. And hopefully we can build this up to be a good evening. There isn't very much in Luleå of live music, and people creating their own music and things. We have this sort of we have here every Friday match. When we have a match on a Friday, we have a troubadour, and it's a sort of it's quite an old-fashioned sort of thing in Swedish word, troubadour. I don't even know what it is in English. I a one-man band.
I've struggled with that too.
Yeah, playing sort of hit songs and singing, and that's not really what music's about. It's not what being a musician's about. It's about making your own music and stuff. So I think this is really exciting. This is really interesting to see how we can progress from doing this for the first time.
So it must be a little bit different then, because the Luleå teams here, both the women and the men's team, they're the league champions at the moment.
Yes, yeah.
So you must have had some really good party evenings here.
Yeah, we've had really good party evenings, both with DJs and with bands and things like this, and also because the restaurant, I'm the proprietor, as we say, but it actually is owned by the clubs. So both our men's and ladies team, they own the company that I'm the CEO for or whatever. And this is a way for them to make money, and they're mainly interested in it being open for their game days, because their sponsors can come and eat dinner and things like this. But we've got to look at doing other things as well outside. So we do sort of, we're in the conference room now at the moment, and we have not just basketball. We have these mess. I don't know what you call it. Messa.
Like a trade show.
Trade shows and things. So the arena is really a flexible arena where we're the arena company doing things, and also concerts. And I was telling you about we're having our own concert at the end of February. When there's been other concerts here from the Kulturens Hus. They can book a concert, but often they come with like one. We had Torström here for two weeks ago, but he'll come and he wants everything, all the lights turned off and it all nice and quiet in the arena, so that he can play his songs and get this feeling. And it's, for me, we're more about having a party. So that's what it's about, music and people that want to listen to music. It's like a festival. So we're going to be doing an indoor festival at the end of February. We booked Moustache, Hardcore Superstar and Corroded. And this is something that you and I were talking about, to have some acts in between. So this evening tonight is the sort of first evening in a much bigger idea where we can promote local bands together with bigger bands.
Yeah, because this is it. Would I be right in saying that's what you guys specialise in? Is there's parties and different things? Is that your?
Yeah, so we play at local pubs, and like in the Swedish word is Folkets Hus. It's like a föreningsliv. I don't know the English word for it, but it's more like
the village.
Smaller, the village,
Yeah,
the village hall, and we have been to Flackasand. It's a big blues festival. We have been there twice. Last summer also.
Yeah.
So that's a big event at this in this part of North Sweden.
Because you're based in Ronio.
Yes.
I could say that, which is a small town, 35 kilometres,
Yes.
25 minutes in the car. Yeah, north of Luleå. What's life? That's my telephone. Oh, that's good. So, what's the music scene like in Ronio and the surrounding? Is it running, Andreas?
Yeah, he's filming all of this because the outtakes are the best bits.
It makes you laugh.
It's a catchy riff, that
Yeah.
one.
Can we use that?
Thank you, Andreas.
Magda on the piano.
That's the intro music for the for the show.
What the date for Moustache and Hardcore Superstar?
Saturday the 24th or the 25th of February. I forget which. We haven't released it yet. It's doing it together.
Band. Vad heter förband?
I think it may be the after band. Because the idea of that is to have the main stage down in the arena, and then using this little stage we're playing on tonight in between, because often you get these bands like, so we switch.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Go from one stage to the next stage.
Yeah, that's a good.
Rather than when it's like sometimes you go to a concert. Did you see any of you guys at Sabaton when they were playing at the hockey arena?
Yeah.
But it was like they played, and then there was a little bit of Spotify in the CD, and then the next band played.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do in between?
There's no party.
There's no
around.
party going on. It's like go
People
to the
stand just in
And wait.
waiting,
stand,
like this. It's amazing how they went to Sabaton. We stayed in the bar for the whole evening. That's what a krögare. That's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? Buy beer.
That's what I remember from back in England. That the band would be in the village hall, but the bar and people just walking around and doing things.
Yeah.
And that's what's laid to the bottom of the idea of doing something differently, is because it's great to go to Kulturens house and everybody sits in their place and watches the band. But to actually get up and enjoy and converse with your friends and do different things, it's like it's kind of outlawed in some way to actually do these things.
Yeah, because I think because music's here, it's quite. I am English, but I've been living here too long. Stiff. Yeah, stiff. Thank you, Swede. Thank you, Swede. Help me out with my English.
How often do you get stiff?
Yeah, I don't get stiff enough, do I? Oh, so it's yeah, obviously not. Beep. The music scene's quite stiff. Here.
Yeah, it is. It's rigid.
Yeah.
It's rigid.
This is very nice. We're going to a concert tonight and listening to some heavy metal. And even when we saw the big arena Sabaton, there was a lot of people just sitting there just to watch a band, and then I don't think you're going to attract this kind of idea where you're combining, like a pub evening and this thing, and making it flexible where you can move around. It attracts people that maybe not here just to listen to the band, but they're here just to go out and have a good evening.
So it's a bit of both.
I've been watching Wasp twice now at Kulturens Hus. And that's the same thing. You miss the whole party, and they play like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
People are getting up work, and there's you come there, you watch it, and you go home.
And you go home. Yeah.
That's the same.
It's a funny way of having music. Music's not the way. That's not the way we grew up anyway.
No, I think it's like very packaged. In this way, you go, you see the band, that's all you get. But I think maybe it's something to do with, I don't know, because there was, I mean, if you go back to maybe 80s at least, you had this Folkets Park scene with live venues out in almost every village or smaller town in Sweden had its own outdoor venue, where even some bigger acts could come and play. And of course, people who went there, they weren't just there for the band. They went maybe because it's like a festival night for the whole the town, the community. They go there, get drunk.
There used to be one in Prestholm, I think, Festa. The Rapids party.
Yes.
I've been there once, maybe almost 20 years ago.
I think I've been living there for like 16 years now, and I think it's like 20 years ago. It was Forsfesten, was it called?
Okay.
But I think that's...
we're being joined by Andreas now. He's the bassist in The Hat. Welcome, Andreas. So we're talking about presenting the music to the public, but I was just wondering what it is that actually ingrained you. Where did the interest in music come from when you...
for me, if I it started with my father was a jazz musician, like a drummer, and I've been tortured by the jazz
What makes you use the word tortured?
all along. But I always had some kind of interest for the drums, and they were always in the house. Not all. I played football and ice hockey and everything like most of the kids, but the drums was always there, and I was. And then we have this. It's not now in Sweden we call kommunal musikskola, and I don't know the English word for it, but it's like a. You can choose it in 9th grade. You can start to
3rd grade.
3rd grade also. Yeah, it depends. Yes, and to take lessons on your spare time. And I started to go to take drum lessons. Because I didn't want to play like jazz, but I wanted to play the drums.
Is it people who take money for teaching?
Yes, but it was like Kommunen was paying for.
Municipality paid for
it.
So part of your.
So it was my parents who have to take me there on their spare time to drive me to Piteå. It was like 20 kilometers to go.
Yeah,
so
it's quite a
bit.
drive.
Yeah. But
Piteå was about 45 minutes south of Luleå.
Funny you'd say kommunal musikskolan, because I don't remember ever playing an instrument before I started kommunala musikskolan. And my parents did never played any instruments, don't know anything about music. But in that age, I just chose, I want to play this. Actually, I played the keyboards in that. But I'm a shit keyboard player, so it stopped there.
So you're all right, Magda. You gotta say.
I'm a shit keyboard player. But at least the thing is, I cannot understate or overstate, overstate enough how much the experience of the kommunala musikskola was, because I can read written music, notation, whatever you call it.
Then you have something in common with Andreas.
Yeah, all that, and it's only thanks to kommunala musikskola. I would never have learned it the other way. And also, I got the opportunity to play in like school orchestras and Christmas events and all that that goes with that. The graduation, etc. Every year, and I think it was invaluable. Not that so I think that's how it began.
So you two met when you were playing instruments, or did you?
No, not on in the same bands or
No,
something.
no, we met through work actually.
We've been working together,
Yeah.
and then we picked up this idea by forming a band a couple of years ago.
Can I ask, Pink Lizzärd?
Huh?
Pink and Lizzärd and
Well,
Do you know what I got when I googled it?
yeah, I want to know where you go when you Google it.
let's say it's a double entendre.
Yeah, how did you find the name Pink Lizzärd? Good question.
Maybe you have the answer on this.
And I don't know. I don't think I made it up. Maybe some former member made it up.
Could be.
Could be. Well,
It sounds.
it's
It's easy to say also.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's got that, you know, it's a bit like Led Zeppelin and Thin Lizzy, etc.
Yeah,
It
'cause
has the
I
same
thought it,
letters.
yeah,
It's the same
I thought it.
letters.
Okay, so
So
that
it's-
equates then to the music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
idea. Of
Like combination of two things also, like the bands used to do.
Pink Floyd, you know.
Pink Floyd is
Yeah.
another example. Yeah, exactly.
I saw one here in Luleå once called Rosa. I don't know whether they recorded it. It was like they did pink, a whole like hyllning, I was going to say, but that's a Swedish word, like for Pink Floyd. So it's just Pink Floyd songs, and I forget what they called themselves, but it wasn't Rosa Floyd. In
Okay,
any
at
case,
the
it was something-
Kulturens hus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple of
Well,
Pink
that's-
Floyd and
that's
a couple
side.
of really good tribute acts.
Tribute actor.
Touring.
Yeah.
Yeah, tribute acts.
Yeah.
And some of them are much better than. That's the funny thing. You go watch Roger Waters or what's his name, the other guy, Gilmore. Gilmore concert, and of course the tribute acts can be closer to the old Pink Floyd experience.
So are they like what some of your? I read on that you used AC/DC, Whitesnake, Deep Purple, that you're influenced or you're interested in. Is Pink Floyd another one of the influences?
Not so much maybe in the music we're
No,
playing
no,
now.
No, not for me at least. Of
I
course,
think Whitesnake is the biggest.
The biggest
Yeah.
influence,
Get
yes.
most songs from. And
The early Whitesnake with Bernie Marsden, Mickey Moody, and
the whole gang.
the whole
Neil
old
Young.
school guys.
It was a great
Yeah.
rock and roll outfit.
Mm.
And a kind
The
of
kind of bluesy
yeah,
sound.
very English in it.
Very English.
Very English. It's weird. So the 5 English guys playing American music also became. I think it's a very English thing. The Americans never did that sort of music themselves.
My daughter was very pleased and excited because she's often told me she was born too late because she loves 70s music into Queen and even as far back as Barry Manilow and things. So she'll be coming later. So.
I think
Good
that's a thing I like to. Of course, you can, but one has to remember in every age. I mean, the 80s and 90s when I grew up. Sure, there were some good bands around, great bands to do, but there was a lot of shit also. Just as today, I mean, you can look back and cherry pick your favorites and think, oh, the 70s must have been wonderful. But then you think about a guy like Gilbert O'Sullivan and Bay City Rollers and whatever they're called. I mean, and in Sweden we have terrible music. Like, what's their name? Family 4, no? Forbes. I mean, it's so much shit.
Highs.
Oh my God. Popular music wasn't always better in the past, I think.
Daniel.
Yeah.
You obviously share the same taste in music as these two.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
But how did you meet these guys and how?
Actually, my wife was at the time working with Björn, and he talked about a guitarist, and my wife came home and said to me, "I have this, and they need a guitarist." So, so he called me up, I think, and asked.
So how long have you been playing together now with?
What is it now? Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Ah, good. So you're well cemented and inside the group as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
You still work together?
No, not any longer.
I got fired.
Did you?
No, we don't work together anymore.
But we, Rono is a small
Yeah,
small community, so we like people know, everybody know
Yeah,
the neighbors.
people in Ronio know who Pink Lizzärd are.
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope some of our fans from back
They're
home
gonna be
come.
here
Yeah, I
today,
know
yeah,
some are
absolutely.
going to be
Yeah.
here tonight. So, it's
They'll
we
be-
have some really dedicated fans. I mean, that's amazing to think, but
That's cool.
we're a small town band. We have some guys who.
Yeah.
In Ronio, you have there's a pub in Ronio.
Yeah.
That's just a really good place. That's got that kind of community
Yes.
sense. I
Yes.
remember once that somebody said to me, "Oh, can you come and help me out at this pub evening in Ronio?"
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, whatever. And like I said, "Oh, how much I'm going to get paid?" So I go and work out to get paid. I'm thinking this is easy money. And we're sort of standing there thinking nothing's happening, and I'm getting paid for doing this. Yeah, one beer. And then suddenly the whole village comes into that pub, and it was, I've never been that busy in my life. And I was like, shit, that was actually hard work.
We played the biggest night with music and pub wise in Ronio is
Last summer.
it's called it's like the annual. They have a village fair
Yeah.
in June, I think, and that is the big night and we have played a couple of years ago, 2 years ago maybe. We played that, and it was, I think, 400 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
At a very small area.
Yeah, very small.
Actually packed in.
So that's cool.
There was
It's,
actually
it's
the
like
first
10,000
live
in Luleå if you
gig
compare
we
to
did
the
together.
people in
Yes.
the this.
That's cool.
The second,
So that's-
yeah, maybe the second. Yeah.
So-
Magda, how did you meet this gang? Because you're the newest member of the band. I'd like to understand.
Yeah, I used to play with another band, but then it kind of went a bit downhill there. So actually, my boyfriend is a musician too, so he was like checking for bands to play with, and then he saw what's it called, annonce.
Yeah.
Yeah, an advertisement
announcement.
that were like from this band's former singer that said, "Oh, we're looking for a keyboard player," and I was like, "Well, this could be interesting." So, yeah, that's basically how it went down.
Okay, so you are also like 70s rock and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. And where did you learn your craft? Where did your interest in music come from?
Well, my mother is a musician. She works with music in church then. Also on my dad's side of the family, there are a lot of like a lot of people are interested in music, and then I had the actually the kommunala musikskolan was it was actually closed when I was at the age to start going there. It actually reopened a couple of years ago, so I went 1 year there. But before that, I started with my old band, and we had a really good teacher. That, it was mostly classic rock and roll that we played, and also rock versions of popular songs.
Okay.
So
Rock versions, turning things into the rock.
yeah.
Okay. So you've had a little experience of like this creative thing. I was just wondering, when are you going to come and write your own things? I can give you a hand with the English. Yeah, okay.
We're not there quite yet, but maybe we have been
haven't
talking
even
about
tried,
it.
yeah. We haven't even
But
tried,
I
to
think
be
we could.
I do have some material that is like
You could always try
unplayed,
some.
but
I mean,
I haven't
I
really-
have played original material in
Yeah,
other
I see.
bands in the past, and so, but it's in a way, I suppose, partly because I mean the genre in which we play, the style, it is kind of narrow in terms, and you can play these riffs in not too many variations, because in order to get the groove and the sound, etc. So we could emulate, play 70s rock music, just make our own adjustments to it. But at the same time, as long as there's good material, which is, I don't see anything actually that bad in playing other people's songs, because if they're good songs, you can, a good song is a good song, no matter if you made it yourself or somebody else made it.
Yeah.
As long, and we try to stay away from the worst, you know, worst. We call them coverspioner. Yeah, jump and back in black, man. Songs like that, you know, you just oh man, no.
Yeah, some songs are really overplayed.
Yeah.
So we're like, if this is the list number 1 songs of the band, we were like in the second or the third, like in the layer below that, and try it. And there are so many good songs from this great big.
Gems.
Exactly. The undiscovered gems.
Yeah, that's true. Usually the market is flooded. Everybody plays the same
Yes.
kind of stuff, and
Same.
it's always Creedence, it's always this, it's always that, and it's boring as hell.
Why?
And of course, I mean, it sells. It's usually sooner or later, it's at least part of the set list somewhere. But I would actually like to go further with this, and because this is very interesting, I would like to actually ask you a bit more about your choice of music. I mean, you were going there a little bit. I mean, how you choose the songs and the styles, and why you do it.
We have like a main, like a line. We always talk to each other in the band. Is everybody pleased with this song? It's not. We don't like a democratic process or what you want to call it. Everybody has to feel that this is a song that we can play.
We tried a couple of songs.
We have tried a couple of songs, and they didn't work, and maybe we weren't that honest to each other in the beginning and said, "Oh, okay, I can play that song," but maybe I don't put enough effort into the song because I didn't really like the song. So that's, I think, if you want to make it sounds good, you have to like the song. It's like in.
So that would be like the criteria.
Yes,
that
I think
you all have to agree that this is really good and it sounds good.
I was going to say, it must be quite hard to play these songs where, like you're saying, Back in Black, the overplayed songs, you've heard them so many times that you become more self-critical in a way that, like, don't really sound as good as
because a song that is extremely like we call it like a hallmark or something, like Back in Black or maybe Enter Sandman or whatever. I mean, if it sounds a bit off, it sounds really off because everybody knows what it's supposed to be like. And a shitty version.
Wait a minute, that's
song,
wrong. That's the wrong note.
A poor version will be really poor because
it's true.
it's so familiar to everybody.
Nej, men det är roligt, alltså jag tycker just det där att det finns ju ändå ganska många band och det finns många band jag är som äldst i bandet uppenbarligen, men och då spelar man ju samma, det blir de här listetterna hela tiden, det är det som är, alltså och de finns överallt, alltså riktigt överallt, och du har ju spelat ett sånt band också innan vi körde som vårt eget race här. Och det blir sällan bra, och man blir som sådär att det blir nästan pinsamt för att man tycker att man fan, vi kan väl välja någon annan låt så man kan ge lite kärlek på den låten istället.
Men det märker, man ska ju helt ärlig, vi har gjort gig folk kommer fram och vill höra Creedence typ. Och de säger det rätt ut alltså. Spela Creedence, spela Thomas Ledin eller någonting.
Do you know, I stood on stage once, right, with an acoustic guitar doing something, and somebody came up and looked at me and said, "Can you play some Michael Jackson?"
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Wow.
I'm not a jukebox.
I think that is kind of a weird thing. I don't know where it comes from. That if you go to a music show and you think the band on stage, whatever they're playing, I mean, there's some kind of jukebox. I mean, play my favorite song, but it's not that easy. I mean,
I think it's like this mentality that often the bands are like, it says that they're here for your entertainment.
Exactly.
And then it's like, okay, they're playing covers. That means they know all covers.
Yeah, every song in the world.
Yeah. Like, do you know this song? Oh no, you don't know that song? Well, your whole act is crap.
Yeah. But you come away with that if you're writing your own songs.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys write your own songs all the time. But you still get asked to play Michael Jackson. So.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things you brought up. It's not wrong to play covers, and I've had a lot of critiques throughout the years because I don't know how to play anything. So when it's like play a song, and I have my own stuff. So I've had the critique from the other way. You should be playing covers.
Yeah, exactly. But that is a very strange thing that I don't know if it's only in Sweden. Maybe
Well,
it's
maybe it's the
in other
Swedish.
countries as well. That
Crazy
if
Swedes.
people go to a music to like a live event, listening to music, and if they don't know the song, it's kind of it feels, I don't know. Do they feel threatened about it? Even if you play cover songs that aren't familiar to them, they're like, I can't listen to this. I never heard this song before. And instead of just maybe sitting back listening, what is this song? I can listen to it and maybe hear it for the first time. They're like, no. I gotta go and request a song I already know. Why? Why do you need to? If you already know the song, what's so?
It's kind of
I can see
interesting.
Andreas is thinking deeply about that question.
yeah.
Yeah, well, there's some truth to that. Yes, maybe. I mean, maybe that's touching a little bit upon the Swedish mentality.
Yeah, I think
That the people want to have sort of something they can take for granted, something
Yeah.
that is they just can fall into.
Yeah, it
Well,
has to
maybe-
be safe.
Like
Same.
it's a bit weird though, because if you go to like a Thomas Ledin concert, then you don't hear people in the audience shouting, "Well, play Veronica Maggio" or
No,
something
no,
like
yeah,
that.
sure.
You don't like hear that, or people don't scream "Play Credence" at a
No.
Thomas Ledin concert. Like
Wouldn't be bad if he did.
No.
maybe.
no, it was just an example.
Yeah, it's a funny thing because
Yeah.
I remember at least playing my own material that I wrote with an own band, original band, etc. It is really hard to. I mean, it is I'd say nigh impossible to even get a gig at, say, a village fest or something. If you say, well, we're a heavy metal band, we play our own songs. They don't. Maybe not.
That's funny because in Sweden, you know, usually internationally they always say, "Oh, Sweden is such a metal country; it's a metal export country." But the funny part is that metal in Sweden is totally underground.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if you look at the big picture,
Yeah, it is.
it's only big in very small circles, so it's quite literally underground.
Yeah.
And that's also why this reaction. I mean,
Yeah,
in the big
exactly.
public places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've touched on one of the issues that it's where this whole idea comes from. This is the first one that we're filming, but I've been playing with this, and this is when I met Chris for maybe 2 or 3 years. Because as a cover band, I don't know how much you take when you play a gig, but I should imagine somewhere around 12,000 kroners in that region. And it's still possible to get gigs and to draw in that money. But as a new band, we're confined to playing at these for charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no money in playing your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Like
it's
with my old band, we had a couple of self-written songs, and I don't think we took any charge for anything
no.
we played. Like we only played for free, and
Yeah.
we stayed together for like 6 years.
That's
Like
a long
we,
time.
yeah, and we never took any charge for
It's-
any gig.
I was
Like a-
thinking when I grew up in England, obviously, and we had at least 2 or 3 pubs that
Yeah.
specialised in having live bands, and there was one pub they used to have bands nearly every night,
Yeah.
a new band. And my friends, when they were, I can't play music, but my friends, they had a band, and you'd go there and say, "We'd like to play in your pub," and they'd say, "Send me your demo tape." The old demo tape, and you'd, oh
Yeah, yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
we got to put a tape together, and it's
Yeah.
you know, recording something. But that was what they were interested in. They wanted to hear, you know,
Yeah.
it didn't matter if it was original music or
No,
covers or
if
anything.
it's good. But I know at least when I played, I still play some original material, just not I make songs, of course. But I mean, in the past, when we played exclusively our own material, my old bands, never got paid.
No.
Never. Nobody even offered pay.
It's
I mean,
usually taken for granted that you
Yeah,
will pay
yeah.
for free because you get the PR.
yeah,
I mean, it's sort of
exactly.
like the same situation. I mean, I know it's the same over the States as well.
Okay.
And it's, well, I guess it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
That unless you're kind of established, it's very hard to,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have made a name for yourself, it's very hard to demand anything.
No, you can't.
So it's like beggars can't be choosers.
That's
but-
why
but
that's
they
why I'm
also
so
take for
grateful to
granted
Chris
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
allowing us to be.
And I heard you haven't even guys sent me your demo tapes yet.
There are reasons.
Yeah, it costs a lot.
But this is often the case that it's like a friend of ours said the other day. We were speaking about actually this very topic, and he also said that there's sort of an inflation going on in the salaries or the in the money that you get for these gigs. That prices have gone up, but the pay has been the same for many years. Preferably, people don't pay anything, of course. But if they do pay, it's still a very small standard fee that was valid years ago. And it doesn't cover all the work that you do. I mean, if you work really professionally, but if you count all the hours.
It's a bit of a, of course, I understand the situation. You can't, as a, let's say, what they call the man, the proprietor or something, a pub owner or whatever. You can't just pay the band and get nothing for it. I mean, there has to be having live music has to be, it has to pay itself, bear its own costs.
Yeah, it
and
has
if
to
it
be
doesn't,
reciprocal.
it's just another, it's another red line on your.
Yes,
You
expensive.
see, yeah, I'm English, so I must be thinking a different way. Because we, as I said, we have every time we have a Friday night, we have after basket and a Friday game, and we own our own stage and equipment, which is good enough for one man band. It's different tonight. We're having to rebuild things and everything, but we have a set fee, and I always give them some money, and we've cut the cost down because we own the equipment. Otherwise, it's a one-man band. You've got to come in, you've got to bring all these cases in and plug it all together and everything. So we keep the money down for what the ersättning as we pay. But it's to me in a way of what are you actually producing? Because you can say, oh, how many extra beers do we sell on a Friday night because we have this band? Well, then we wouldn't probably have a band in the basketball thing. But we do it because it's part of the evening, and I look at it in the way where the clubs are owning the restaurants, and we say, well, how many more tickets do we sell to the game? Because all of this is going on, and it makes the whole evening. It's a part of the evening. It's not just about having a band. How many people come?
Exactly,
This is a sort of it's a crazy way of doing things.
Yeah,
I think
It's a bit of,
I think music and live music is
Yeah,
part
yeah,
of an
it's-
evening. It's not.
but I think my experience from, I think that's, I mean, in general there are, I mean, even a quite large city as Luleå, there isn't much of a regular music scene going on. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that's right. It's really strange. I mean,
We had back in the, I look over this Norra Hamn.
Yeah.
We had it's called Stadspubben, and that's for the locals here. They everybody knows what Stadspubben was, but it was like it was live bands like every evening, I think. At least Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays.
it's,
Was it?
and,
Yeah.
and it just went away.
And it just
It's
went
very
away, and it
strange.
was like small. It's like small, really small scenes, like a 3-piece band or maybe just 1-piece band or.
Actually,
But it was
there is actually live music quite often at Ebenezer, but it's like they play a lot of. It's often a lot of different kinds of music, so it's always up to
But
taste.
mind you, Ebenezer was cancelled for a long time until it was remade just recently.
Yeah.
So it was kind of dead. The scene was very dead
well,
for a
yeah,
while.
yeah.
Yeah, I only know since I moved here, so
Ah, yes.
it's
Yeah, I think that was it. Two years it's been up and running again.
yeah, that's how long I lived here. So
Yeah.
Something like that.
Where did you live before?
it's a small town, like into the country.
And its name is.
Arjeplog. It's
I know where Arjeplog is.
yeah.
I'm going to
it's-
be showing a map of Norrbotten because, or North Bothnia as it's called in English,
Yeah.
just to show where we're talking about because a lot of people don't even know where the north of Sweden
Yeah,
is.
it's understandable. It's out of nowhere.
Well, we're thinking about going up to Arjeplog.
Yeah, make sure to market the event like very. Where were you planning to play in Arjeplog?
Well, we're actually now together with Andreas here. Say hello, Andreas.
Hello, hello, hello.
Behind the camera. So together with the Hat is taking this whole concept with the project with a night out with Alan all the way around Norrbotten to strategic places.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking for Arjeplog's main band or some music there, and maybe doing a gig together on the local ground and go through the same process.
I'd recommend maybe like the pub there if they are open that night. Like
I'll have to phone them and ask.
checking good time, and then like there might come people. It's not a very generous scene.
No,
to
it's
put
very
it
quiet.
that way.
I've been on the way up to Arjeplog. That's a better. They have
That's
a-
better.
they have
a
a-
lot of.
It's a big. I think it's bigger. It should
You have
be
like the
bigger.
hotel. What's the name? When you have Forum, that's like Folkets Hus in.
That's a lovely stage.
Yeah, very. I've seen Anneli Rydé, Sky High, Yngwie Malmström, and a lot of other.
I thought
They've been like in the 80s. They were. Älvsbyn was big in the. Yeah. Sparta is the name of the hotel, I think, and they also have often live music. So.
That's interesting.
Mm?
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to ask a little bit more personal question that addresses all of you, maybe as a band or individually, but I would like to ask what music means to you guys. If there is an answer to that question.
For me personally, music is like I've been like in sports all my life, like in football teams, and this is in some way to be in a team. Like you do your homework, you get together, you practice, and if you're in the pocket, if it's okay, it's a good feeling. That's all I can say. It's like that good feeling when you're nailing the song or whatever, like a part of a song or.
Sort of like
That's
you get a lot of energy when
yes,
when it gets
that's
good, right?
all effort I have put in is like I get it back.
It's a
immediately.
reward.
Yeah, it's a reward instantly, and it's if you don't play, like I have a lot of friends who don't play music, and it's kind of hard to explain to people who are not playing. It's like that special feeling. It's like I don't know. That's my personal opinion about what music is to me.
Anything to add?
I mean, as a musician, I mean, also for myself, I mean, I was thinking about this very question just the other day, and I know this is a difficult question because it's so sort of intertwined with a lot of other things, but I was also thinking that playing yesterday made me realize once again how much it means to me just to be able to think, to be myself, that I don't feel like a whole person if I haven't been playing for a while. I mean, it's like I can't think, I can't be myself properly, I can't enjoy things properly. It's like you need to get something, you need to get it out, you know, just do something, you know, and then afterwards you can be like some people when they come out of a sauna or something like that.
It's a cathartic process.
Yes, it makes life make sense. So, I mean, so for me, I was realizing that, man, this is a hard question, but in a way, it's also very simple because if I wouldn't do it, I wouldn't be a person anymore. I wouldn't be whole. I wouldn't be complete. Something would be missing.
I would say it's even bigger than the process of playing music, because that is only I play music as a musician in a band. You know, we practice the songs, etc. But when I'm not practicing actively playing the songs, I listen to music almost all the time, mostly on a like a laptop computer with shitty small speakers. I got some pretty big stereos at home, but I never use them. It's just that small laptop. Listen to songs. I go on YouTube or whatever, and you find one song you like, and then you say, "Oh, what's this?" And you try that. Oh, this was good. And you can like drift away into the world of music, and then you read about music. You read about the bands. You read about concerts, the interviews, everything that's connected to it. And you read about the equipment. It's like I don't
It's like
know.
being involved. You have to be involved with
Yeah,
music in
yeah.
a relationship somehow.
Yeah,
one way or the
exactly.
other.
It's like and it's pretty much the thing I do when I'm not working.
It would be sort of unthinkable to not have anything whatsoever to do with music, right?
Yeah.
It would be very strange. Maybe even impossible.
Well, I had to go back to like early childhood to be in that place when I did not do anything
Well, with no
before I
relationship,
even listened to music or played the music. Early childhood. Since then, it's always been like in the background somehow. Yeah.
But you've played with the church. Did you start when you were young?
Yeah, well, I suppose I started like in a choir or like that,
Okay.
and then I took a break from that, and then my mom tried to teach me like piano when I was younger, but like it didn't go so well. So like I tried to read sheet music at first, and like, but then I have not entirely given up on it, and I can like slowly go through, but it's not really my thing. But like music has always like been around in some way. We had a piano at home, and we had like flutes because my mom was a music teacher too,
Okay.
and like a guitar, so it was always something to like make. There was always something at home that can make sounds, so it was like it didn't sound good when I played, but like it was something. And there was like we played music in the car, like when you live as far away as I did. There were some car rides.
Every now and again.
Everything
Like-
is just a stone's throw away.
Mm.
It's a very
Yeah.
long stone.
A very long stone throw.
I think that's the some of the best place to listen to music is in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we had this old CD of like the best of Toto. So we listened to that like all the time, and my parents grew extremely tired of it, so they forbade it in the car because it was like we had played it like we had a lot of like skiing practices because my dad is a trainer, so we used to listen to the first couple of songs, and then we were at the destinations, and then like again and again and again.
Oh, yeah.
Like so I can understand that they grew tired of it, but
Because I started to think that there were CDs, right? You listen
Yeah.
to CDs, yeah, because we had tapes, you know, the cassette
Yeah.
tapes, and they were always these Mr. Music mail order mixtapes with hits from it. So I mean, it's really strange. I can still, if the other day I was riding in my car going to work or whatever, and I heard this song, I think by Angelique Kidjo or someone. I'd completely forgotten about this artist, but I heard a song and it went straight into my brain because I've heard this goddamn Mr. Music tape over and over again. And then the song, it was in Agolo, Agolo. Yeah, I know this song. How is it possible? Where is it from? It's just stuck in the brain. Oh, yeah.
So you could say some early influences would come from Mr. Music then.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we had those tapes too.
Yeah, also,
At home.
everybody had them, I think.
With
Maybe.
Hadaway and I don't know.
Yeah.
Pet Shop Boys and
Yeah.
Grove.
I remember. But Meatloaf was one. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he was like his song was 40 minutes long, so he was half the tape was Meatloaf.
I think my father's got the tapes in the garage still today and put
We
them
have to
in.
have a reunion.
Big part of Swedish musical memories, Mr. Music
Mr. Music.
tapes.
Yeah.
Have you considered like doing a Meatloaf song?
Like this one, I would do anything for love.
No, that's
but I won't
too
do that.
I won't do
I
that.
think that can like count as one of these like overplayed songs a bit,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Like it is one of their most famous songs, so then
Yeah.
we can't play it really. It's
But I think Meatloaf, I mean Jim Steinman music in particular, all his songs like Bonnie Tyler songs and whatever he's made, they're so bombastic. It's
It
hard
would-
to
it would
even
be really-
recreate them without the choirs, the string ensembles, etc. It's like if you don't have that, his songs are pretty much standard rock and roll tunes. But when you add all these over the top elements, it becomes just a huge experience. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. It would maybe fall a little bit flat.
Yeah,
with a normal
exactly.
band. It would be very hard to recreate that
yeah,
kind of
no, you
power
need
and
a
that scenery.
And of
Because
course, the
we-
way he sings.
yeah, oh yeah. It's a very he has a very like idiosyncratic form of singing. But I got this expression like larger, and then you get meatloaf.
Larger
That's
than
true.
life.
It's so big, and the sound is massive, huge.
Mm.
Me personally, I enjoy some meatloaf music.
So, but that also would be a little bit of a criteria for you as a band. Then, I mean, when you pick out the songs, like, are they even doable? I mean, good enough with the setting.
Totally.
I was going to say that when you're saying there about meat, I mean, it's a distinct voice as well.
Yeah.
And as a cover band, when you're doing those songs we were talking about earlier, when
Yeah.
they're so well known, then you're listening also to the voice probably
Exactly.
quite a lot. That voice isn't quite the same voice as the
No.
original.
Oh,
Whereas when
yeah,
you're
that
playing a
makes
song
sense.
that's not, you don't hear as often, or you've
Exactly.
never heard before, it's on the B side of a
Yeah,
record.
yeah.
It's true. It
You're not
becomes
looking for
too
the
strong
voice.
of a characteristic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we heard some cover bands a while ago, and they were doing a take on U2, and that's also very hard because it's so characteristic with Bono and the
Yeah.
singing. So there's a lot of music that is like that, and that also makes it really, really hard because, like you were addressing before, that some of the problems with playing known classics or lesser known classics is that everybody's going to scrutinize every single piece of it. That's off, or that's
The
wrong,
music
or something
police
like that.
will.
Yeah,
Music
yeah.
police will.
Everybody will be the music police, especially other musicians.
It's like we have Idol when you're watching the
Yeah,
Idol,
yeah.
and that's just the covers. They're singing these voices, and actually some of the people that in these competitions, they've got great voices, but they don't quite sound like the original.
No,
So
exactly.
does that mean they've not got a good voice, or they just don't sound
No.
like the
Got
original?
the wrong songs.
Yeah,
I think.
they got the wrong.
So-
Yeah, it's the singer, vocalist or whomever. It's a huge part in. If you're trying to make an exact carbon copy of the original, of course. And so some music it almost has to be kind of a carbon copy in order to be like AC/DC music. If you try to play it in another form, another arrangement, nobody will actually enjoy it. I think I won't because
the voice makes such a huge part of
the
it.
voice. I mean, the simplicity, the guitar-driven riffs, etc. If you change them too much, there will be just some kind of rock and roll, simple rock and roll played in a whatever fashion. But some other bands, original bands, are more easily done with your own like flavor, at least.
Yeah, it's
But
permissible.
yeah, some are more forgiving. But it, of course, as you said, I think that is the main criteria of every song. Can we do this in any presentable fashion? Some 80s songs are really heavily produced, and it will sound really like a garage band trying to do it.
Like a Toto song, like
Yeah.
some of them work, but like it's now as a keyboard player, it's really over the top everything with keyboard. Like at live gigs, they have like at times 2 keyboard players at the same song because all the band members know at least 2 instruments, so they can like switch around a bit. But like it's often like, okay, you have one on organ, one on piano, and or like something like that. So, and then you have like maybe on some songs you have strings. Like they have this child's anthem. It's a really I like the song. It's like a instrumental. It's a bit classic, but like in a rock sense. Like it's an entirely instrumental song, but like I haven't actually seen them play it live, but I don't really know how they could pull it off because it's like an orchestra.
Yeah, it makes you wonder sometimes.
Yeah, it's
So some things are. I think in many instances they have pre-recorded parts now with you can have like playback parts, but pulling that off is quite a musical feat. I mean, you have to be dead on the band has to be exactly on the beat. I mean, metronome, in order to play to like pre-recorded synth or orchestral parts or whatever you play through the PA. You have to be exactly on the beat, and that is very hard to pull off. I mean, even for professional musicians.
Oh yes. And that's why they sometimes, if they can afford it, they have like you said, they have maybe even other people hired as extra guns to play those parts, because it's just not doable. Even if you have 2 keyboards on one guy.
Yeah, it's like you can just play so much with 10 fingers. It's like, no, I can't play that and that at the same time.
From an entire extra band hidden behind
The actual band player.
I'm beginning to learn how difficult it is actually. It's like an art form in itself to be able to do the covers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's so much you have to think about. I mean, I think it's very interesting. It's very nice to hear about all these different challenges, basically.
Yeah, because when you play original music, a lot of the challenge is in the creative process of writing the song, the riff, the lyrics, whatever, and then maybe arrange it in a way, or introduce other musicians. If I play this, can you invent something to play over that? And everything is like you start from 0. But in the other, when you're playing an interpretation of somebody else's song, and at least if you're trying to do it, I think our ambition is trying to make it at least follow the original pretty slavishly. I mean. Then that is in a sense the challenge to what are they doing here? How do they pull this off? That one, this sound, that sound, etc. How do they manage it with 5 guys or 4 guys instead?
Like, we don't have to play it exactly as they did, but how can we convey the same feeling in the song?
Exactly,
And get close enough. I mean, the essence of things.
The essence, yeah.
So it still becomes the same song, but maybe not exactly the same version of the song.
No, of course.
Well, I would like to take sort of like, let's say, a closing question for the evening, and that would be what you guys, as a band, what kind of goals and dreams and plans for the future that you have, if you can tell us a little about that.
Well, I would say playing more gigs, of course.
Absolutely.
Keeping the steam, keeping the momentum forward, fine-tuning the material, our performance, etc. That I think that is my ambition, at least.
And like have a gig a month.
Yeah.
That's but we are full-time working, the whole bunch of us. So a gig a month is like, that's okay.
It's realistic.
With the families, and because it takes quite a lot of time to practice. Also,
I think that's one thing that these people don't realise. It's like 100 hours in the rehearsal room for an hour on the stage.
Yeah, that's really crazy how much you have to. And there's always, you can have done a couple of hours more. It's like always.
Well, if I could almost close it down by saying, what are you guys doing at the last weekend in February?
Probably doing whatever you want to say.
Don't say right. I'm going to give you a gig. Yeah, because as I say, we're having a big arena concert with a small stage.
Cool. I'm all for it.
Good. Yeah.
Well,
you'll be like headliners, and then you'll be like down here. You know,
it's okay as long as we're on the.
You'll be on the flyer.
Fine print.
Magda, which is the favourite song that you're doing tonight?
Well, that's a difficult question.
Just one song.
Well, I would actually say Ain't No Love in Out of the City. Like, it was the first song I learned from the set list, so but it's a really nice and groovy song. Also, Walking in the Shadow of the Blues.
You're only allowed one.
No.
Donny, your favourite one that you're going
if I
to
pick
do
one,
tonight?
I would say maybe Ready and Willing. I think it's got the right beat and
Okay.
really groovy.
It's a nice title.
I like that one.
Ready and willing. Yeah, I wish I'd wrote that. Yeah.
My favorite for tonight is CC Top's Cheap Sunglasses.
Okay. Yeah. Andreas?
I think, I think I have to say probably "Walking in the Shadow of the Blues" also. I think it's a pretty massive song. I
Okay.
like it. Yeah.
I look forward to hearing them all later on. That's it. We're going to close this off. We've been at it for far too long. So it's have a rest and get ready for the performance later. And hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. A night out with Alan will be back next.